So anyway, there's this iconic film. I don't know. I don't say iconic film. That's a stupid thing to say. There's a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyway, Arnold, the bodybuilder, the governor, the would-be president, except he was born in Germany or Austria. Anyway, he talks with an accent. Anyway, it's called End of Days, and that was the name of the film. And I saw it, and I had to look at it several times to really. There was something I wasn't catching. Well, anyway, the way it looks is that a child is born at a certain time. The Vatican finds out about it, and they get all extremely nervous. They want to find the child because this child will eventually be the bride of Satan or the Antichrist. Actually, they seem to be one and the same thing. Anyway, but the child is whisked away from the hospital by servants of the devil. And anyway, so then what happens is, at a certain time, the devil comes out from where the devil hangs out. I guess hell, I suppose, the pit. The pit's actually that way. Yeah, I know because I've been there. Anyway, and the devil, of course, is a non-corporeal at that point, but he needs a body because he's going to have to mate with his consort, not his wife, but the one that'll bring on the beginning of his reign for 1,000 years as the master of the world. So anyway, he drifts into a restaurant, a very nice restaurant, and there's a priest in there. And he's washing up. He has a fine meal, and he's washing up. And so, anyway, the devil, the non-corporeal devil, goes into the washroom and basically slam dunks the priest, takes over his body, if not robs his soul. Anyway, so therefore, the priest is a corporeal being, and the devil is in the priest, and so therefore the devil is corporeal. All right, so here you have it. And ergo, the Antichrist. Now the devil is anti-God. A Christ would be a savior, but if you're anti-God, you're kind of like going backwards. So anyway, he comes out of the washroom all feisty, and this is the part that really gives me a real thrill. He goes up to a table that I guess he'd been sitting at, and he removes part of the dress that's covering this woman's tit, and he sucks on it, and then he puts it back, and then somebody starts to say something, but of course, the devil has ways to make sure that nobody's going to fuck with him, and of course, to make it certain that, nobody's going to fuck with him, as he leaves, I don't know, he sort of causes some kind of some kind of explosive thing to happen. The whole goddamn restaurant explodes, but they think it's a natural gas explosion. Anyway, that's what it's reported to be. So there you have it. The devil is on earth and walking around. Now the thing is with the devil has supporters. And it is people that worship the devil. Anyway, so he's a priest, but now he's got lots of money and power because the devil evidently has devilish ways. And anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger and who was the other guy? Some other guy. They're part of a private security firm, sort of like, was it Blackwater or something? You know, the ones that did it in Iraq. You know, the ones that got hung by the upside down on the bridge and pretty much scalped by the Iraqis. But anyway, so they're hired to protect this guy from assassins. Anyway, so now Arnold, or the detective, a former detective, has a history. Evidently, he was out doing his job when his wife and kids were brutally murdered by street thugs. Sort of reminds me of what was the name of that film with can't think of it. It's about like a vigilante. It doesn't come to mind right now. But anyway, so he's all torn. He wants to like kill himself and shit like that. And he's, you know, pretty much the epitome of somebody's like on the fast track to hell anyway. So anyway, he's mindful of his job, and his partner's kind of evidently trying to nurse him back to mental health. And he finds that somebody's got a really sweet Austrian rifle, and they're banging away from a rooftop at the priest, a la the devil, a la the Antichrist. And Arnold, you know, stops him. But evidently, at some point, he utters words, and it turns out he has no tongue, so he speaks without a tongue, which is a miracle. Well, anyway, I'll cut to the chase now. So the devil, the Antichrist, when he's looking for something, he's trying to trail his, you know, his consort, his bride, so he can have her ready to be fucked at a certain time and place, so that the world will, you know, become his own. So, oh yeah, baby. Anyway, so in the same sense, I perform what might be called interdiction for the CIA, which means I try to disrupt the plans of the terrorists, and so I look for signs and symbols and such as that. And in a weird way, what the devil was doing in that film, In the Days, I'm doing right now. I'm picking up trails, I'm looking at high signs, low signs, you know, from all quarters. And so therefore, if you had like a really overactive imagination, you could actually say that being that I do the same thing as the devil did in that film, and if the film had a lot of truth to it, which it could have, therefore I'm the devil, or the Antichrist, and I'm doing the work. But I'm also doing the work for the CIA. Which is actually more interesting than doing the work for the devil, for myself. So, anyway, and as things progress, I get a little bit antsy, I guess you would say. It's like I want to, like, you know, bite somebody's head off, or do what that other. Anyway, so Arnold. This is an important point. Let's see if I got enough time. Yeah, I got enough time. So the devil gets a drop on Arnold, and seeing how the devil is a supernatural being, etc., etc. And he's also able to raise folks from the dead, which is interesting. But anyway, he gets Arnold, and then this is like the day before his coming out and screwing the the woman. Oh, and the priests are trying to kill the woman, so the devil can't fuck her, so the world will be safe. Anyway. And what happens at that point is, and this is interesting, the devil offers a deal to Arnold. He says, if you will obey me and stop fighting me, I will give you back your family. Which is, of course, awesome. It would be as if they never died. Now, of course, Arnold, he's probably like, hell yeah, I'd like to do that. I mean, I just don't like the fact that I abandoned my family and they were murdered brutally. But it appears, if you look at it in one way, that he rejects the devil's offer. And he becomes the hero, and the devil orders his fellow cops, who evidently been killed, and then the devil's brought him back to life, to crucify him upside down like Paul. And so they do that. And this is where it gets murky. And the reason I say that is because there was another film with Nicolas Cage called I don't know, something about a lieutenant in the New Orleans Police Department and his mistress, or also known as a whore, a call girl, very nice too, yum. But anyway, what happens is, since he's already rejected the offer, and he suffers the consequences, he goes forward to eventually save the world by preventing the devil from, fucking the girl. That's will bring about the beginning of 1,000 years of the devil's control of everything. So, my reading of it of the film after a bit is that, in fact, Arnold took the deal and to sort of like give him some space to some psychological space to absorb what was happening, because eventually he does in fact unite with his wife and his children at the end. Of course, that's after he's deceased. But I'm thinking is that he already made the deal, and everything that goes forward past where the devil offers the deal is actually an illusion. And so the world is not saved, and the devil has triumphed. The devil has succeeded in becoming the master of the world for 1,000 years. And at that point, I gotta terminate this, because otherwise I'm getting too long, and it won't let me do it on YouTube. So that's the thing. So I had a very odd experience on the 13th of February 2009, and I want to tell you that, my friend, it was green, and it popped, and pop electric, baby. And so at that point I'm gonna bow out and just leave things develop as they will. I have to look at this message from my boss, the general. Goodbye, Seattle, and have a pleasant tomorrow.